Okay, so we're streaming, in theory. That's okay, I just wanted to get it off a little bit.
Okay.
Warm up. So I just went live to make sure, because it's now 3 minutes till we're in the other room.
Did you need me to give you that piece of paper that I printed out?
I printed it out.
Yeah. That was silly this morning. I'm like, oh, great. Where'd it go? Delete. I don't know. Oh, I can hear it.
Yeah, they were supposed to close at 4, they have been closing at 4, like, since they opened, and then, yesterday I read this thing open at 5.
Oh, you're kidding.
No,
I mean, I could just.
and I said, well, we scheduled it around that,
Okay.
but
That'll be great. So do you need me to move this table in when I'm done?
no,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just grab a chair and
Yeah.
get around here, that'd be
Perfect.
perfect.
And I'll push it closer to the wall.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, there's 15 people watching. Right now. Hi.
You just tell them that we're almost ready to start.
We're almost ready to start. Hold on.
Christy, whenever you're ready.
Hi there, I'm Christy Kay, and we are coming live to you from Rising Hearts in Nehalem for the 2021 Healing Arts Fair. In previous years, this would be an in-person event where you would be able to meet and greet with your local practitioners and actually experience some of their practices. But being how things are right now, we're doing this live. This is a first attempt at doing anything like this for the Pioneer or for the Healing Arts Fair, so please be patient with us, and we're about to get started. As I mentioned, my name is Christy Kay, and Rising Hearts in Nehalem is dedicated to uplifting the community with classes and events in the healing arts. We have classes going right now in Qigong. We have meditation classes. We have a meditation and painting group that is meeting. There is chakra dance classes, and hopefully we're going to get some yoga and some other wonderful classes going really soon as the pandemic allows. So this event is in perfect alignment with what Rising Hearts' mission is, and I'm going to introduce our first practitioner today. Her name is Danielle. She is a licensed acupuncturist. She has been practicing for over 14 years. She recently opened up her Oregon clinic here in Manzanita. It's called Heart and Hand Acupuncture, and as a healthcare provider, she does take the time to listen and establish a relationship with you. It's very important to her to know her patients. She knows the journey to health is unique for each person and believes acupuncture and Chinese herbs have the ability to heal on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. Danielle looks forward to creating a community of health and healing with her heart in her hand. Her focus of practice includes pain and stress management, women's health issues, autoimmune disorders, depression, and anxiety. I'm going to let Danielle explain her background and her training. And without further ado, I'm going to let her speak. If you have any questions or comments that you would like her to answer, please post them in the comments on Facebook page and I will be giving them to her. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Hi, everyone. As Christy said, my name is Danielle Melanson. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and yes, I opened my clinic in Manzanita in November. I also have a clinic in the Portland area. Today, I am going to talk about acupuncture, Chinese medicine, specifically the season of spring and harnessing the energy of spring. In Chinese medicine, each season represents different organ systems, represents different elements, different emotions, colors, sounds, and different areas of our body. So with spring, we know it's the season of renewal, rebirth, reawakening, and new beginnings. We see that all around us, especially on a day like today, when the sun is shining, it's actually warm out. We see all the little green buds. We see the flowers. We see that little sprout coming up through the sidewalk crack. That is the energy of spring that we're going to harness. And just like we're seeing that in the outdoors, that's happening in our bodies as well. We're waking up from that very yin time of winter, coming into almost a shoulder season of yin into yang, before we get into the height of summer. The season of spring is related to the liver and gallbladder organs in Chinese medicine. And what that means is the liver energy is the planner in us, and the gallbladder energy is the decision maker and the action taker. So for instance, maybe you want to sign up for a 5K or a 10K or something like that. The liver energy is the planner, is the one that's going to help plan that. But it's the gallbladder energy, the action and decision maker in you, that's going to get you up at 6 a.m. or later to go for your training runs. So that's where we're at with the planning and action decision making. The element of wood that's part of the spring season is the energy is up and out, just like a tree. And when we see the trees out in nature right now, we want to see the branches going up and out. Right now, there are little buds that will turn to blossoms, and by high summer, high yang, that will be a fruit. That is the creative energy coming up and out. Again, that's happening in our bodies. When we see a tree that's gnarled, that's stagnation, and you don't see the bud. Therefore, you don't get the blossom or the fruit in summer. That happens internally, too. When qi is flowing or not flowing, it's stagnant, we experience disharmony, imbalance, or pain. And let me stop for a minute and back up and tell you about qi. Qi in Chinese medicine is our energy, our life force. For me, when I'm talking to patients, I explain to patients that qi can be thought of as your blood and oxygen flowing smoothly in the body. When blood and oxygen are flowing smoothly, we're in balance and we're in harmony, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Of course, there's times, especially in this past year, where things haven't been flowing smoothly, and maybe you've experienced some imbalances, whether it be pain, lethargy, depression, or anxiety, which I'll now go into the emotion of this season is anger. Anger can be very motivating, right? And anger can be very stagnating. It's a perfect season to help with the flow of your emotions right now. Anger also is seen as irritability, resentment, and the opposite of that is trust and harmony, right? We don't want it, trust and harmony. Being free and joyous when we're out in nature. The other aspect of harnessing the energy of spring is the color that goes with the season, with liver, gallbladder, wood, and the color, of course, is green. And we see that all around us right now, too. And I think of mostly like that chartreusey green, that lime green. It's just full of life and vitality. And again, that's the energy we're harnessing during this time of year. The liver governs different body tissues specifically. It is the ligaments and tendons. So great time if you're suffering, you're someone that rolls ankles or has ligament elasticity, torn ligament, for me in Chinese medicine, I will evaluate the liver and gallbladder meridians. And that's where I would place a needle protocol for a tendon and ligament issue. Also within the body, the liver governs the eyes. And we like to say the eyes are the soul of the liver energy. And again, we've talked about the liver has the emotion of anger. It governs the tendons and the ligaments. And it's that planner and action taker with its paired organ. The other part of spring and this time of year is it's time for spring cleaning, right? We go into our house and we open up all the windows and we clean up everything. We have that fresh air coming through and creating new energy. That's what we're also doing in our bodies by detoxing the liver. A simple detox way to start your day for the liver. The taste of the season is sour. A lemon water in the morning, half a lemon in some warm water with a pinch of salt for your electrolytes, and the lemon to kind of jumpstart the liver and get the digestive fire metabolism going is a great way to do a simple detox. A bigger detox, of course, would be eliminating any inflammatory foods, alcohol, coffee, to the best of your ability. The liver likes to run smoothly, and after a winter of being going slow and more yin, we like to kind of jumpstart that at this season. And again, lemon water is a good way. Today, what I wanted to do for you all is not only introduce myself and tell you about spring, but show you an acupuncture treatment. So today, my friend and patient Sarah is here to be my patient. I'm going to do a scalp and ear needle protocol. As I said, acupuncture is the movement of our chi, our life energy, blood and oxygen. When a patient comes in to see me, there's 2 points I always start with. There's a point here at the top of the head and a point here at the crown chakra actually. And this sets the intention for the treatment. For me, it helps the patient go from a sympathetic state, that fight, flight, or freeze, into a parasympathetic state. So they're getting into that rest and digest, the quiet, healing, recovery, and repair state. So I also tell my patients, acupuncture doesn't hurt, but it's not sensationless. You might feel a poke or a zing. If you feel the feeling of like a bruise or a dull ache, we call that the doji, and that's a very good sign. What we know is that the needle has gone into the fascial matrix and is having the C fibers of your nervous system kind of hook around it, like catching a fish. Just so we're going to start right now with this point up here, and it's a simple tap in. And how are you doing? Sounds good. And then one goes here. And then the session has started. The intention has started. Ear acupuncture is unique in that I can treat every organ and body part within the ear. It's a microcosm of your body. So today, with all my talk about spring and the liver and gallbladder, I'm going to needle the liver point, which is right here. And again, that's going to govern the free flow of chi, blood and oxygen, and the free flow of emotion. Again, not being in that angered state, but in that more joyous, harmonious state. Another point that I will do is it's called Shen Men, and that translates from Chinese into English as calm mind. Another great point to set intention for the treatment. Today, again being in this spring theme, I'm going to do lung. This is also the season of allergies for people. So if you're someone that suffers allergies, right now, actually, a few weeks earlier, in the late ending times of winter, is a great time for a treatment to build our immunity so that we can not have symptoms. Let's do lung right here for Sarah. I'm going to come over to the other side and do the same protocol. So we've got liver, free flow of qi and emotion, Shen Men for calm mind, and then lung for seasonal allergies right now. In my practice, if usually a patient would be on like a massage table and there'd be points, the meridians run throughout the body, there'd be points maybe from the elbow down to her hand, from her knee down. Needles, I usually retain them for about 30 minutes. In my room, I keep the room very warm and cozy. There's usually music. And I leave so that the patient then can, get into that repair and healing state by actually falling asleep. And I love when I come back in the room and I knock before I come in and someone I startle them out of their sleep, because I know on a cellular level they've done their healing work. Are there any questions at this point? Okay. I can tell you some other things that you all can do for the season of spring. Right now, I talked about a detox, but other simple things that you can do. Get outside, go for a walk in nature, be out along the green. Just moving your body, again, the ligaments and tendons, that is moving your chi. That is a wonderful thing to do right now. Stretching, ligaments and tendons, again, it's a great thing to do for the liver energy, so for planning and decision making, as well as ligaments and tendons. Eating green is very good right now, and that's part of the detox too. So your kale and your salad and all the green veggies, green juices. Currently, my green juice of choice right now is celery, cilantro, parsley, lime, and ginger, and that's waking up my liver right now, which is part of the sour that I wanted to be doing. Eye exercises are good at this time too, as I mentioned, that the liver, the eyes are the soul to the liver. So it's up, down, over. That's just a really good thing to do. And then there's a Chinese herbal tea at the clinic. I put together chrysanthemum and goji berry, and that's a terrific simple tea for, again, immunity and the liver. Again, mentioning the allergies that I did earlier. So those are some simple little detox spring liver gallbladder things that we can do. I also have alphabetized tips for just health and wellness, besides acupuncture being A. B is the breath. And there, I call it the 5-2-5, where we breathe in for 5, we hold for 2, and then you release for 5. I'm hearing a lot from my patients these days, and it didn't occur to me because I go to the clinic every day and I see people, and I feel very fortunate that I've been able to do that this past year. But a lot of the people I see have basically set up their life in their living room. So they've got some desk in the living room where they're working all day, their child is over there, and then they reported to me also that that's where they're having their leisure time in front of the television. So taking the time during the day, during the workday, to just have that little reset with the breath is a good thing that I've suggested to people over the last few months at this point. Connection has been something that we've lost during the pandemic. And so one of the things I'm telling patients is, you know, especially during this past year, that it's a choice for us to choose love over fear. I think we've been in a fear-based mode too long, and it's almost like choose not to suffer. And I don't want to sound like I'm not empathetic to what's happening in the world. I am, but when we're in fear and we're afraid, that's not good for the immune system. It's not good for the liver. That's where the anger and the irritability do come from. Whereas love, trust, gratitude, which is another thing on the list, having a gratitude journal is a really great thing to do. 3 things that you can name either first thing in the morning or at night before you go to bed. They can kind of reset your mood. Water right now is very important. I've already mentioned the lemon water, but wearing our masks all day long, we're not hydrated like we used to be, or I'm certainly not. So being mindful to drink water is a great thing. Meditation, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 or 10. I try to go for 20 every morning, and it's a great way to begin your day. And, you know, with acupuncture, I help people get into right alignment. Meditation can do that to start your days as well. Movement, like I was saying, is important at this time. And, you know, self-care in general, which for me would be going to see your acupuncturist, and having that quiet time for yourself. I think, she might be in that right now. So if there's any questions, I'll answer those. Otherwise, I'll invite you all to check my website. I'm Danielle Melanson, DanielleMelanson.com. On the website, you'll see the Portland and the Manzanita location. Appointment availabilities on the website for Manzanita. I remember Christy threw over to me at the beginning. I did go to the Oregon College of Oriental Medicine in Portland, and and one of the things I like to tell first-time patients, I'll tell you all, is this medicine literally changed my life. I used to have a career in advertising, and one day I got sick, and someone told me to try needles, and I did. And every week I'd go for a needle protocol. I drank crazy Chinese formulas with sticks, twigs, and orange peels, and I changed. And it's because the needles work on that physical, emotional, and spiritual. And for me, it was more that spiritual level that one day on a run, I definitely got the message to stop what I was doing and pursue this other career. And I'm really happy that I did. And I look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. That was really informative and so very helpful. Once again, I'm going to ask to have you put some comments on the Facebook page if you have any questions or need any more information on the practitioners today. I'm going to talk a little bit about my practice now for about 5 minutes. I, like Danielle, had a kind of awakening with my health and needed to find a better way to heal. So especially after a car accident where I broke my back, had a traumatic brain injury, and also suffered some PTSD from the whole experience. I was in bed for about a year, and I then experienced some Reiki, which literally flipped a switch in my body. After that, I decided to pursue training in Reiki and moved into crystals and sound. And as I became more deeply involved in energy itself, I became more intuitive. And now I'm able to help people with that. So what do I offer? I am an intuitive healer, but I'm also a transformation guide. I offer the possibility of healing and transformation by helping you realign to your own divinity. And this happens in a multitude of ways. Most individuals come to me when other conventional methods haven't worked. They are hesitant, they're full of grief, they feel hopeless. A lot of people have trouble manifesting the life they want because they're living in pain and illness. I find such great joy in helping create a safe space for people to dive into themselves. I mentor them into leaning into truly understanding who they are on a soul level, creating opportunity for empowerment, and permission to love yourself enough to transform your life. Allowing a release of old patterns and beliefs that do not serve or fulfill your soul's calling and truth can help you step back into your divinity, which allows for healing on a very, very deep energetic level. It creates gentleness and ease, and I've seen clients flourish with joy and abundance, which is your birthright after all. So if you're curious about learning more, please look at my website, www.cosmichealingandw.com. I have more information on there on the modalities that I use to help people step back into alignment. And throughout the rest of this broadcast, I will be giving you little blurbs about those things. I will do a little bit about sound healing. I'm going to talk a little bit more about energy, and actually I'm going to spend a few minutes right now talking about energy. What is energy? Energy is everything. And that is like the most pure and simple truth that all the ancient wisdom comes back to. Quantum physics has proven that we are energy and all of our surroundings are energy. Your body is energy moving. The chair you're sitting on vibrates. Everything, it starts at a cellular level with the atom. If you've studied any kind of science, you know that the atom has a vibration to it. These atoms make up cells, which make up our bodies, which make up us. So we are essentially vibrating beings at all times. We can't see each other vibrating because we're all vibrating. So energy medicine deals with the movement of energy. Basically, it's all it comes down to. It's energy moving. Now, when we don't exercise or we eat foods that are low vibration, or we have emotion and feelings that we don't process, which a lot of times we don't have the opportunity to process because we are in fight or flight mode and we're just in survival. These things block our energy flow and cause stagnation or blocking of chi. There's other ways to describe chi, but it's basically just our energy moving. So there's different practices energetically that we can bring into ourselves to help bring flow and balance back. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that after I come back. But right now I'm going to introduce our next practitioner. Her name is Shannon Ayers. She has been a part of the Tillamook community for over 17 years. She spends time creating some beautiful art, and she uses her gifts as a shamanic practitioner by leading dream and journeying work. She did have some trouble moving her body until she found gravity yoga, and she now leads a life free from pain, sciatica, and she can easily process those emotions that I was just talking about out of her body by using this practice. Now, as a yoga teacher, she has begun to offer this healing to others, and she has been teaching online through this pandemic. So she is readily available to you if this is something that interests you. She comes to this event with intention, and she does create a safe environment for all who are open to healing. She draws deeply on her shamanic work as she does this practice. And I'm going to invite Shannon to speak to you right now. Shannon?
Thank you so much, Christy. Before I start, I just want to express deep gratitude for all the practitioners in this area, practitioners who are coming here for this event to share their offerings. I would like to start out by blessing my space here, blessing this time, and you all, the practitioners here. May these practices heal and strengthen our minds and our bodies. May these practices heal and strengthen our minds and our bodies. I'll start out by saying a little bit about myself. I'm a 42-year-old mom. I've worked for over 16 years in animal health care, which is a rough career on the body. I garden. I'm very outdoors active. And my entire life, I've been very overweight and out of shape. I've spent many weeks, months of total time with sciatic pain, spasms, muscle spasms. And as I got older, I'm finding myself having a hard time sitting cross-legged for any amount of time without breaking a sweat and having to get up on a chair. In the summer times, we would go to music festivals, and I couldn't get myself up and down off of the grass to dance. And when the pandemic hit, I was offered an opportunity. Life just shifted in big and profound ways. And it was my clear opportunity, the doorway to open up for me to change directions with my health and my body. And that leads me to gravity yoga. I discovered gravity yoga online. My teacher, Lucas Rockwood of Yoga Bodies, he invented this practice, although there's many forms of it. If you know a lot of the yoga types, this is very similar to yin yoga. Gravity yoga is slow, it's deliberate, and it's really, it's flexibility and mobility training at its basics. It's lengthening your muscle tissues, it's changing the shape of your fascia, it's literally creating more room in your body. 50% of it, however, is nervous system training. I found myself, like many of my friends, many people in our American Western lifestyle, feel wired and tired and stiff. And this really gets to that nervous system training. Because in these stretches and these poses, we are trying to relax in an uncomfortable situation. And that nervous system training translates into other uncomfortable situations that you find yourself tense, experiencing anxiety and emotions. So this is very much a nervous system training. My classes are Tuesday and Thursday nights from 6:30 to 7:30. I offer up 15-minute homework challenges and recommendations for the rest of the week. We do this in the evening. This is an evening time practice because when you walk away from an hour of deep stretching and relaxing, you walk away feeling a little bit loose and lax in your joints for a couple of hours. Your muscle power is greatly reduced for a couple of hours. And so it's a really great evening practice where once you're done, you can take a hot shower, you can make some hot tea, you can eat, you can rest. You do not want to lift heavy boxes, work out, chop wood, anything like that, because that's your window of injury after a practice like this. So we meet in the evenings, and it is an hour of deep and slow stretching. And I would like to demonstrate a little bit of what that looks like. So I'm going to start by setting the breathing. There's 3 principles to gravity yoga. The very first one is the breath. Most practices have special breathing. This one is a 4 to 8 breath. That means you inhale through your nose for the count of 4, and then you exhale out of your mouth with a whisper for the count of 8. It looks like this. I'm going to do 3 rounds to set the pattern here. So I'm going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale with a 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So I'm going to let my breathing return to its pattern. When we're in our long hold, we return to that breath over and over. This is that nervous system hack. Like the acupuncturist said, it gets you into the rest and digest function. It calms you down and it allows your muscles to relax, because when you get in a stretched position, your muscles contract. There's something called a stretch reflex, and it's your body protecting your heart, protecting your groin and your organs, saying, oh, no, can't do that. This breathing shuts down that nervous system and allows your muscles to relax. So I'm going to get into a hip stretch to start with. For my hands and knees, I'm going to bring my left leg back behind me, foot on the ground, and I'm going to take my right knee and I'm going to lunge it forward. I'm going to heel toe, I'm going to use my hand, and in this position, I want my foot out in front of my knee. I want a greater than 90-degree angle at this knee. And I'm going to lengthen forward, sliding my back leg back. Now, we have lots of ways to modify these poses. One of the ways is you can cushion that back leg, that back knee as it presses into the ground. And also you can bolster up your chest. You can use blocks for your hands. You can tuck them up under your hips. You can keep on your hands. If you can, you can go down onto your elbows, onto your forearms. So the second principle of gravity yoga is wet noodle. We talked about that deep breathing helping to relax your stretch reflex. So as much as possible, in all of your poses, you want to wet noodle. In this hip opener, I want to relax my legs, I want to soften my hips, and I want to sink down evenly, distributing my weight evenly from my front leg to my back leg. This is a hip opener, and it gets my hips on 3 planes. My front leg is in full flexion, my back leg is in full extension, and my toes are rotated out to the outside, giving me some rotation. So that's the three planes on this hip opener. It's also stretching out my hamstrings here. It's getting my iliopsoas and hip flexors in my hips, also getting a little bit of my glutes. So the 4 to 8 breathing and the wet noodle are 2 of the principles. The third principle is time under tension. We hold these poses for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. In classes, I run the stopwatch. I'll set a goal for you, but it's not important that you reach my goal. What's important is that whatever time you hold a pose for, that the next time you do that pose, that you meet or beat your time, even if it's just by 5 or 10 seconds. I'm going to hold this pose for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm already almost to the 2-minute mark. And I'm going to return to my 4 to 8 breathing in order to sink down and really relax into this. Hip openers are really great because they are the seat of your body, that center, that saddle that operates above and below. I'm right at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm very carefully, very slowly going to come out of this pose. I'm going to release my front leg back. I'm going to shake my hips out just a little bit. And press back into child's position just to rest and reset for a breath. And I'm going to switch sides. Same position, only now my right leg is out behind me. And I'm going to jet my left leg forward. Again, a greater than 90-degree angle at the knee. I'm going to turn these toes out laterally to the left. And I'm going to sink down into my hips, equally distributing the weight from the front to the back. I'm going to bolster up my hip just a little bit, just to give you some support in this position. You could be using an ottoman, you could be using couch cushions. A lot of people in my class, because they're doing it from home, use those kind of homemade props and use them well. So again, I'm going to sink down here, and I'm going to set my timer. When you practice this at home, it's important that you use a timer, because your monkey mind is going to tell you, oh, nope, that's good, that's enough, that's probably been 2 minutes. It doesn't work like that rarely. So use a timer. You can use a timer on your phone. Or as a friend of mine, one of my students does, she picks a song that's for the right amount of time with favorite music and holds the pose through the song. This is an excellent practice to use music, and most of the time there is music playing during the hour class today. So as I sink down, I'm going to return to my breathing. In this practice, we protect our joints at all costs. If this was causing me low back pain, I would modify or back out of it just a little bit. But we are looking for the discomfort of your stretching muscles. This is not a restorative practice. This is challenging and it can be uncomfortable. But the rewards, the practical rewards of a body that's supple, that's vital, that energy and electricity can move through freely, is so worth it. And to know that you have trained your nervous system, that you can calm yourself even in the most uncomfortable situations. I have found that with my low back sciatic pain, that the hip openers were key because your sciatic nerve comes down off your spine and through your hips, down your legs. So opening up your hips is a huge boon to relieving certain kinds of back pains. I'm at the 2-minute point now. I'm going to give myself 30 more seconds in this pose. And I'll return to the breath. It's not important if you can't breathe 4 to 8 count, because that is a long time. You can do 3 to 6 as well. The important part is that you're slowing your breathing way down by restricting the back of your throat, making that. I'll just got a few more seconds here. And I'm going to very carefully, gently, bring my chest up, Release my foot back. Shake my hips out just a little bit. And I'm going to push back into child's position just for a rest of breath. In gravity yoga, after a long hold pose such as that, we usually reset. I'm going to reset with a Sphinx pose, just a gentle upper cervical and thorax stretch. So I'm propping up on my elbows. My feet are flat on the floor behind me. I'm going to grip the mat with my fingers spread. I'm going to retract my shoulder blades, puff my chest out, and lean my head back. It's important, even if it's your muscles. Here, I need to unclench my butt muscles and soften my legs so that I can get a full stretch on my upper back. And this reset is just, it's going the opposite way as the forward bend that I was doing in that blaster pose. So I reset for just a short time here, relaxing. And relax. So those are just a few of the poses we do. In my 1 hour classes, we do targeted groups. We have a targeted, or mostly targeting your hamstrings, hip class, which very much like the blaster pose that I was just showing you, it's an hour of targeting your hips. Then I have a back class that targets lower back, pelvis, upper thoracic, cervical, including some chest and some shoulders and a little bit of feet thrown in there. And I have a couple of mixed body classes that we throw in there for variety. So again, my classes are Thursday and Tuesday nights, starting at 6:30. We do it over Zoom. And you can reach me at shannon@coyotemoon.net. That's my email. You can find Shannon Ayers on Facebook Messenger, or you can text or call at 503-354-7486. Get a hold of me and we can talk more about it. It has improved my life dramatically, feedback from the students, but it is not for everybody. So talk to me and we can discuss whether or not it's right for you. And I would love to hear from you. Are there any questions? Okay, well, again, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for Christy Kay and her beautiful space and the practitioners that are coming and offering up their healing practices. And I would like to close this out again. May these practices heal and strengthen our minds, bodies, and spirits. May these practices heal and strengthen our minds and bodies and spirits.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for being here today. We really appreciate all you have to offer. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about sound healing, which is one of the modalities that I use in my practice. So as I mentioned briefly in the last little blurb, we are made of energy, from the atom to basic cell formation. So it makes sense to think of ourselves as energetic beings. We have an energy, a frequency, and vibration all of our own. Energy is all around us, from the air we breathe, the food we eat, to the sounds we hear. Even the chair you're sitting on is made of energy. So vibration is what we call energy in motion. It's the wave that's created when energy moves. Frequency is the rate of vibration. It's how fast or slow the vibration wave is. How many times a wave occurs during a specific amount of time. Low vibrations move slower and appear as long, drawn-out waves, while high frequencies move much faster and higher, and the waves appear fast and multiple times in that same amount of space. Sound waves are essentially movements of energy that we can hear. They're an important aspect to our physical health. They travel through matter like air, metals, and other solid objects. And sound waves are created when these objects vibrate through a medium like water, air, metal from one location to another. Now, this includes our own bodies, our skin, our organs, our tissues, and the very cells that make us up. Sound waves pass through our bodies and they create certain responses. These reactions can help restore the body to health and harmony, or it can cause dissonance and disease. Each sound has its own vibration and frequency, and some frequencies we cannot hear, but nonetheless, they are moving, they are happening. And research has begun to show the ability of sound therapy to help with so many different ailments, from depression and anxiety all the way to cancer. Each of our organs and tissues and physical systems vibrate at a certain frequency when they are healthy. This has been proven through large amounts of study. Your liver, for instance, vibrates and has a specific frequency when it is healthy, and it's different than the frequency of your stomach or, say, your brain. Essentially, you're just a moving symphony of frequency and vibration. How neat is that? So the underlying basis of all sound healing is the consistency of vibration versus chaotic vibration. So all drums, crystal bowls, tuning forks, and all the sound healing instruments that we use create consistent tone, and it creates stability within our physicality, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, and even our spiritual body. From there, you can get really incredibly detailed as to frequencies, timbres, music intervals, music flows, and all the things that energy does to us. A good way to explain this is to look very briefly at brain entrainment. So science shows when we are immersed in certain frequencies like beta or alpha waves, our brains start to move and vibrate at those frequencies. They pick up on these waves and then they attune to them. When our brains are filled with thoughts and just swirling around, they're typically operating at what we call alpha frequency. When you add music to your environment, like delta waves, our brains entrain to this sound, and it will actually help calm and relax your mind. Through the use of tuning forks, singing bowls, chimes, gong, drums, all these things, they create sound waves and frequencies that can help us heal. So striking a tuning fork in the note of C will create a frequency of 256 hertz. Now, that will have a different healing property than a higher pitched tone of B with a frequency of 480 hertz. Researchers are beginning to understand that each frequency creates specific symptoms or specific vibration that helps us heal. There have been studies very recently. They're doing more and more studies as they're figuring out that there's actually something to sound and vibration, that it balances and it creates healing deep within our cell bodies. So a tuning fork, though seemingly more muted than a singing bowl, still creates vibration and resonance and still has a healing effect. Tuning forks are different than the bowls. Bowls create multiple different sounds depending on how you play them. A tuning fork is very, very specific and will create only that one frequency and one vibration. So, and drums, we can beat drums to our heartbeat and bring our heart back into alignment, or we can speed up the drum and move into shamanic practices. There's so many different ways of bringing sound in for healing. One of the major researchers who has shown how sound affects us is Dr. Masuro Emoto, who has done studies with water. Our bodies are made up of more than 70% water. He has shown that depending on what kind of sound and frequency and vibration you use with the water, it creates either beautiful, wonderful snowflake-like patterns, or it creates dirty, muddy-looking water, depending on how that sound comes out. You can look him up to find out more information on that. So I'm going to play a couple things really quickly before we move on to show you how sound healing can help. In my practice, I would use a singing bowl like this directly on the body so that the resonance and vibration move through you and break up any energy that has become stagnant or still and has stopped the flow of energy moving through you. Our bodies are essentially supposed to take energy in and it flows out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, depending on the foods we're eating, if it's low vibration, that will cause some go. If we have emotion and feeling that we don't process, again, it blocks the flow. So using a singing bowl on the body will help push those things out and help. I might follow it up with a tuning fork to a specific vibration. If you're having stomach trouble, we essentially move that vibratory, and then we bring the tuning fork in to bring it. Dissonant sounds are actually good for helping release things. Bringing in the harmony and resonance after that is how we bring our organs back into alignment, we bring our body back into alignment. It's been really helpful for pain. I said I was going to play this, didn't I? Singing bowls have become very, very popular, especially in yoga studios, because it helps bring those brain waves back into a quieter space. I did a study in my practice in November 2019. I had 10 clients come in. Each one of them had an autoimmune disease, pain, lupus, fibromyalgia. I used tuning forks on them. That's all I used was tuning forks. There was an hour-long practice where I used specific frequencies to help them, and every single client had relief in some way. Some of them very, very significant. Others, it was just enough to help them sleep at night because the pain was lessened. It helps with inflammation. It's just a wonderful, wonderful modality, and one of the things I offer. If you want more information, I again ask you to check out my website, www.cosmichealingNW.com, and we're ready to bring on our next practitioner. I would like to introduce Alicia Franken. She is an herbalist and founder of She joins us to discuss herbs, tonics, and tinctures by her, and she's going to introduce you to their new sweet shop right here in Nahela.
Hello. So as Christy just said, my name is Alicia Franken, and I am the founder of Doju Moon. Thank you for that introduction. And I am greatly honored to be here and be part of the Healing Arts Fair. And in particular, I feel that I've had a wonderful welcome here from the North Coast community. And I greatly appreciate that. I appreciate being warmly welcomed by you all. Doju Moon is new, as Christy mentioned, and we are on 8th Street, just off of Highway 101. And we're right across the street from Wolf Moon Bakery, which most of you are familiar with, I'm sure. And I've been really enjoying meeting the community, members of the community, and I hope to continue to do so. So I hope to see your faces in there and get to know you better. Thank you. To tell a little bit about myself, I have been studying herbs for about 18 years now, and I got my original training from renowned herbalist Cascade Anderson Geller, and I'm very honored to have had that opportunity. She was an amazing person, a beautiful soul, and she is sorely missed, and I'm so grateful that I was able to learn from her. In addition, I've been to many herbal conferences and taken numerous courses. I've also, a few years after my training with Cascade, received the opportunity to take Rosemary Gladstar's course on the science and art of herbalism with a group of women on Mount Hood led by Jody Stern, who has become a longtime friend and mentor. And that was a lovely experience as well. It was a very, very big deep dive into herbal studies. So I continue to read. I'm surrounded by herbal books, and I feel that it's important to continue my studies and learn every single day. So one of the reasons I started Dojo Moon was because I wanted to also work with my daughter. So my daughter is currently running all of our social media platforms, and I would love it if you come take a look. We're at Dojo Moon on Instagram, and we're also Dojo Moon on Facebook, and we'd love to have a follow from you and have a look at some of her lovely work. So I've been making things for many years, and one of the things I like to do is bring about treating herbs not just as medicine, which truly they are, but treat them and work with them, align with them, commune with them, if you will, in a wellness practice. So I believe in the balancing our lives and being, if we treat it like a practice, then we're doing things to take care of ourselves and promoting health. So I'm going to walk you through a few of the things that I make and just discuss them and tell you what they do. So to begin, I have one of our bitters. We have a line of 4 bitters. And bitters have been around for many, many hundreds of years. They were made by monks in monasteries and nuns in Europe, and they were meant to promote digestion and overall wellness. So they were often formulated as herbal tonics, if you will. And so I've had a lot of fun in infusing the health components of herbs while also sprinkling in joy and creating some pretty lovely flavor profiles. And this particular one is called Cardamom Sun. And some of you may be familiar with cardamom. It's really a quite delicious aromatic herb. And one of its properties, of which there are many, is that it is carminative. And that means that it helps you digest your food, and it helps ease stomach issues. So this blend also has orange peel, which adds a nice flavor, but orange peel in itself is a little bit bitter. And it also has white peony root. And white peony root has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years. It's a blood tonic as one of its main properties. So that's just one of the things we make. And again, we have 4 bitters that we make currently, and we'd love you to come by and take a flight with bitters. It's pretty fun, and they're all quite different and pretty enjoyable. You can mix them with soda water at supper time, or put them in cocktails. Bitters have often been used in various mixed cocktails, and you can even make them in mocktails and just have fun experimenting with that. Hey. So another thing I love to make is wonderful tea blends. And this one is an example that I brought that I call Nourishing Balance. And I came up with this around the time of the beginning of the pandemic. And I wanted to make a formula that might offer support. Certainly won't prevent one from contacting a virus, but or getting a virus, but it is meant to help build immunity and just pay attention to those systems that keep us a little bit stronger. So this blend has elderberries, which is very well known for improving immunity and helping the upper respiratory tract. And it has rose hips, which is chock full of vitamin C, aside from tasting beautifully. It has ginger root, which is a warming digestive stimulant, and most of you are familiar with ginger. And it also has cardamom, and yes, you might be getting the idea that cardamom is one of my favorite things. And then I round this one out with hibiscus, and hibiscus can be very astringent and sour, so I mix just the right amount to make the flavor profile it's pretty special. In fact, we've had a local, some of you may know, Mr. Andy, who's come in, and his first thought upon tasting this was, quote unquote, this tea is insanely good. So I've got a very high compliment, and I hope you guys get a chance to come by and taste it at some point. Okay, so another part of balancing wellness and using herbs in many different ways is that I make balms or salves, if you will. And I have quite an array here. I won't go through all of them, but one I made just last week is what I call the Balm of Gilead, which is a common name. I didn't create that name, and it's made from cottonwood buds. And we sustainably harvested the cottonwood buds and then infused them into some beautiful oils and made this lovely salve. And cottonwood bud is an amazing healing salve. It's known to promote rapid cell regeneration, so it's really good on burns or any kind of skin conditions, or just in general to wear on your skin. And the smell really does harken in spring. It's kind of intoxicating. So we have that in limited quantities, of course, in the shop. And then another thing we make are extracts, or tinctures, if you will. And these can be nice for being a little bit more specific in the application that you want. And so I brought one example. This one is called Meadowsweet. And Meadowsweet has a really interesting flavor. It tastes kind of lovely. And it is full of salicylate, so it's really nice for pain applications. And in addition, unlike most man-made pain medicines, this one actually helps the stomach. So you wouldn't get an ulcer, for instance, for taking this like you would if you took too much aspirin. And the other part about that, which is really fascinating, is that it actually helps with heartburn. So it's another example of how herbs work in a holistic way, and we tend to get in a little trouble when we isolate constituents and try to use certain parts instead of just using what Mother Nature gave us in the first place. So this is a lovely little extract that we made. So that is some of what we do, and I would just like to thank you again for having me here. And I'm very excited to be part of this community. I really look forward to meeting more of you. Again, we are on 8th Street, just off of Highway 101, across from Wolf Moon Bakery. And so thank you for your time, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you came in today. It was really nice to hear about all that you have to offer. I really, really enjoy your teas. I've been over there a few times and always leave wisdom to take home. I'm going to talk for a few minutes about Akashic records, what they are, and how they can help us before I bring on our next practitioner. As I mentioned, my practice deals with energy. Everything is energy, and it's just about realigning ourselves back to alignment into our own divinity And I have many, many different ways to do this. One of the ways that I help my clients, especially those who I work with in mentoring, is by going to the Akashic Records. What are the Akashic Records? Well, as I've mentioned many, many times, everything is energy, including, but not limited to, our beings as humans. The Akash is just a record of everything energy. So, every action, every thought, anything you've ever done is recorded in the Akash. It's kind of like a huge library. And when I work with clients who are stuck in patterns and conditions and they just can't seem to break free from them, they keep attracting the same things over and over again, no matter how hard they try. It's usually because they have some energy that they're carrying with them unconsciously from a previous life or from this lifetime. Karma, which really gets a bad name, is basically consequence of action. It's a consequence of choices you've made. That's all it is. So an easy way to switch your karma and bring yourself back into health and healing is by making new choices. If you don't know what those choices are that you're making that are causing dissidence and disruption in your life, how can you make new choices? So I look at the Akashic Record and see what blocks, what restrictions you may have, and we work on releasing them through many different ways, all energetically. I have seen clients be relieved of physical pain as well as emotional and feelings and all kinds of patterns and conditions just by bringing forth from the unconscious to the conscious mind reasons for why you're doing what you're doing. When I go into the Akasha, I'm also able to look at your soul blueprint. That is, what are you made of? What makes you tick? How do you bring abundance to you? How does your energy flow? What characteristics do you have? What kind of job would be a good job for you? And it's not always the one that you think it is. Sometimes we have blocks and restrictions because of our energy, and we may not be in alignment, and we may not feel like we're that public speaker that is supposed to be public speaking because we are shrunk in on ourselves. We have lack of confidence. We don't know who we are. So bringing in the Akashic Records and looking at your record and helping release these patterns and these energies helps bring you back into your alignment and living a life of ease and abundance, which is really why we're here. We're not here to suffer. We are not here to be filled with ease or dis-ease. We're here to thrive and live in this human experience as best we can. I can also look at the Akashic Records and see who your spirit guide team is. I can see what your chakra health looks like. I can see if that relationship that you're in is really good for you or not. I can look at your life situation and the things that are going on in your life right now and help you release what has been serving you. These are all wonderful tools to help bring you back into your divinity and help you on your journey. So right now we're going to introduce our next practitioner. Her name is Libby Golden. She has worked as a healing artist since 1996. And her main focus, like most practitioners, is to support people. But her specialty is the childbearing years. For those seeking natural health and longevity, and she helps people reduce toxins in their homes and their lives. Libby is a body worker, a doTERRA wellness advocate. She's a doula and also a Dancing for Birth instructor and trainer. Please welcome Libby.
everybody, and thank you so much, Christy, and thank you to everyone who has already been in this space, charging it with all their wonderful goodness. To learn more about me, you can go to my website, which is Golden Key Wellness at goldenkeywellness.abnp.com. And there's lots to say, but I'm going to keep it simple today. I'm going to go over some techniques for reflexology and acupressure, as well as how to layer them with essential oils to double up our effectiveness. I have an interesting history when it comes to essential oils and toxin-free living, which I'm very passionate about. My early professional life, before I worked as a healer, I was a healer innately before that, just was discovering how and why. I worked in the fragrance and flavor industry, and I learned firsthand how synthetics were permeating our personal and fine fragrances and household fragrances, as well as our foods. So if something says, natural flavor, that still comes from a lab. Even fragrance-free, often, if it says fragrance on the back, comes from a lab. Okay, so that's a little bit about my background. And I became a massage therapist after dealing with illness and followed my passions into maternity care. Some of my favorite tools that I have picked up are reflexology and acupressure. We can all learn to use these and ease our everyday ailments. Again, combining them with essential oil even makes them that much more effective. The essential oils I use are doTERRA. doTERRA means gift of the earth. And their desire as a company was to translate directly from nature to the bottle exactly what our organic bodies would identify and work with. They've done a wonderful job. So I've worked with bodies and essential oils for 25, 30 years, and I love sharing people how to use these in their homes and lives. Like Christy mentioned, my specialty, I love to work with the maternity community, and that's from preconception, pregnant, postpartum, as well as people seeking natural health in general, and those seeking longevity, really lengthen their life and have more fun and enjoyment. So I'm going to go right into a demonstration. I thought most of us, we've been sitting more, some of us have been a lot less active. Even if not, we all have some back discomfort and neck discomfort. You can tell me if you can see this okay, or tell me if you can't. So for our back, we're going to, these joint areas are bony landmarks. This would be our sacrum and our low back. And we're going to work up this knuckle, which is reflexively the top of the spine base of the neck, and then the neck goes from the base up to the next knuckle. So the way I like to do this, and you can do this without essential oil, or you can add essential oil. To add some, I'm going to use a little bit of lemongrass to echo what I heard the acupuncturist saying earlier. We're in springtime right now, and lemongrass is a great springtime oil. So right now I just put a little lemongrass. I'm taking a little bit of fractionated coconut oil. And I'm going to use both parts of my hand and work this low back to my upper back. Lemongrass is great for soothing muscles and ligaments. It actually has many benefits, and I want to tell you all of them, but I can't, or I will talk too fast. So I'm going to actually use the bony parts of my hands to massage the other side. So I'm going to use, right now I'm working my whole spine. So again, from this bony landmark to this knuckle, this is low back to upper back. This is something we can simply do every day. And without massaging our neck and shoulders, this makes a difference. That's why I love reflexology. It's a great way. Christy mentioned I work as a birth doula. And this is a wonderful way to access mom's body, sometimes when I wasn't able to access her. So then we're going to work on the neck. You can take one thumb and you're looking to move through the flesh and meet the bone. So I'm not rubbing over my flesh, I'm moving the flesh and meeting the bone. You can also just take your thumbs and rub them together there. And that's it. You can do that for 1 minute a day and work your back and neck. I do this before bed. My husband does this as well. I offer this to clients who have chronic neck and back tension. You can use lemongrass in the spring for general health of our both fixative and curative or preventive for muscle health, ligaments, tendons. So if you're arthritic or just feel like you have a chronic tight shoulder, so we did the spine and the neck. We come out here, where when we fold our hand, we get this crease. We can work with our thumb all around us, joining them. Just go into that point where I say it feels like grateful pain, which is the that's the spot. And just massage that out. And reflexively, you are working your shoulder. As a massage therapist, I began to layer reflexology with massage because I just found that when I did both together, people had that much more improvement. Same thing with layering essential oils. It's another effective tool. Okay. We do both hands. Again, if you did this for even 15 seconds on each hand, in each area, 30 seconds before bed, I promise you, especially with quality oils, again, if you're using oils that aren't necessarily pure or might have impurities in them or synthetics added, you're not going to get the same effects. This is why I trust doTERRA, and because I'm a cancer survivor and I work with pregnant people, babies are very vulnerable. So it's important to me that I'm using only what would be experienced in nature. Okay, so that was a little bit of reflexology. And you know, about reflexology, some people, most people, think it's the feet, just the feet. And reflexology, there's a map of the hands. So the hands are very easy tools. I often teach people when they're using reflexology at home how to access their hands because it's a lot easier than for some people to do their feet. They come to me for more work on their feet than they might do on themselves. There's also maps of the ears and the head. So I do provide this as a service. You can book appointments with me at Possible in Manzanita. And those are closed sessions where we do a combination of reflexology and acupressure. And if you're interested in essential oils, we use those as well. So let's come into some acupressure for self-care. This is a brief acupressure series that you can do to ease frustration, ease feelings of anxiety, general tension, and lift depressive feelings. So if you're feeling stuck, and unmotivated or uncreative or depressed, this is great, even if you just need to feel a little better. So I'm going to start, not going to go through naming every point, but this, I'll tell a little bit about other. I'm going to just do a gentle kind of a cross pattern over my sternum. You can also use the flat of your fingers. Rub gently right here. I say, I'm free to open my heart. This is the acupressure area for anxiety. And then I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to make a squeeze area between my fingers and my palm. I'm going to come into the base of the skull, top of the neck. So here was, I am free to open my heart. And then here I'm going to squeeze the top of the neck and my mind. Keeping the tongue soft, allowing your body to breathe. Squeeze a few times each side. And there's very important pressure points there. And we're going to come into the traps and my body. So back and forth. I am free to open my heart, my mind, release that into there, and my body. And we're going to come to the bottom of the deltoid. And we're going to squeeze there. I have permission to pause and take care of myself. These are all the mantras I put with these when I do them. And to pause for that self-care, I take my thumb as a tool and I rub the top of the elbow. This is called the crooked pond or the crook in the pond, and a lot of energy gets blocked up here. We're going to do our wrists. Warming them up, the joints, wrists and ankles too. They're like bottlenecks. Things really can get plugged up in there. This has to do with our lung channel and our reproductive organs. That's great to warm. And then we're going to come down the body a little further. We're going to do a figure 4 stretch. This is to open points through the glutes. Figure 4, the ankle goes above the knee. Always have something by for stability. And then with this, you're not just bending down, you really want to sit back. And you grab your foot with your own mind, let your foot go. Let your knee be heavy like there's a weight. And then sit back in your glute until you get that stretch. And we say I am stable and flowing. And then we repeat. And you sit back until you get that stretch, wherever that is for you. And number 4 also offers a very stable energy. We can bring that a little bit further. Come up around the ears to release tension in the neck and jaw. We're going to make a V out of our fingers. You can do it this way or this way, whatever is comfortable. And you're going to rub up behind the ear and down in front. Pressure with my pointer finger up behind and my middle finger down in the front. We're working a lot of acupressure things there. Volume up. Okay. Okay. Can somebody tell me where I'm on time? 4 minutes? Thank you. Okay. I hope that came across well. I was just told I'm a little soft, but I am definitely a soft-spoken person. If you have questions, feel free to message me or contact me. Again, when people sign up with doTERRA through me as a wellness advocate, I become your personal
go to for questions, and I love teaching my clients how to use these oils. If you'd like to see me for some body work, I love to teach people how to do this and also give treatments. Hopefully people want to learn some techniques for home use as they go. So again, you can go to my website. I'll also post my information in the comments. My printer was not working, so I did not have a nice stand to have something printed. Or actually, I was just out of me. Anyway, let me talk really quick about something, Dancing for Birth, which are fitness and childbirth education classes for those that are preconception, pregnant, and postpartum. You do not need to know how to dance. You just need to be willing to move in your body and feel good. And there are also professional trainings for Dancing for Birth, which I'm a trainer for them as well. So doulas, midwives, nurses can come get CEUs and learn about these skills. Birth is first and foremost just a body event. And we need to know how to speak the language of birth. And in Dancing for Birth, we teach that language through dance movement. Again, you do not need to have any dance experience. And it brings a lot of joy and celebration. Oh, 2 minutes, okay. Let's see. For specials, you can email me at wingsforwisdom, F-O-R, not the number, wingsforwisdom, @gmail.com, and I'm happy to share a sample of an essential oil. We can do a brief consult about what essential oil might be a good one for you. And today on doTERRA's site, there is a buy one, get one special going on. It's been going on all week, but today's the last day. And two of the other oils I was going to use, but didn't quite. Tangerine, I would use in the acupressure. It's wonderful to lift depression, spark creativity, and so much more. It's great skin oil. I love this. Very safe in pregnancy too. Their logo is by Spearmint. Get tangerine and lemon for free today until while supplies last. Also, lemongrass, because they know it's a good spring oil, is on sale for 15% off this month. And so I think wholesale is about $10 a bottle now, so that's great. If you want that BOGO and you want it today, email me at that email, and I will, or comment under here, under this video, and I'll check, and hopefully we can get you signed up. You can just buy the BOGO without signing up for wholesale pricing, but why would you really retail? But you can. So yeah, I hope, or not hope, I would love to speak with any of you who have any interest in body work or Dancing for Birth, essential oils, any of it. I love helping those. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Libby. That was really informative. I appreciated learning more about reflexology. And of course, essential oils. They are very helpful in many ways. Thank you. While we wait for our next practitioner, I'm going to talk a little bit about crystal healing. Crystals can be very interchanged easily with stones, rocks, and minerals. And so for this talk, it's going to encompass all those things. Now we know the art of crystal healing has been around for many thousands of years, and humans have always known about the energetic vibration of crystals and how they can affect the mind, the body, and our spirit. Crystals have connected human beings of all cultures and civilizations, with the oldest documentation of crystal healing coming from the Egyptians, dating back 15,000 BC. Crystals are very commonplace in many cultures, from Egypt to Mayan societies, as well as Native Americans, the Greeks, and the Chinese people, among many, many others. Though it's not fully accepted in Western medicine, crystals are still used and prescribed in many parts of the world. So it is very accepted in many places other than our Western medicine, but that is starting to turn around as people become more and more aware of energy as medicine. So, just like Reiki, crystals can be explained through physics and the laws of energy. Crystals come mostly from inside the earth, from a combination of heat and pressure. The molecules that form a crystal are built in precise order and are stable forms of repeating structure, both physically and energetically. So each crystal has an energetic vibration that's specific to its molecular structure and specific to the healing properties they possess. When crystals are placed in your energetic field, which is the field that is around your body or on your body, and this energetic field, as we know, reaches out many feet beyond us. So if we get these crystals within our auric field, we will pick up the energy and the healing properties of them. Crystals have this natural ability to conduct energy, and of course, they're being used in many electronic devices because of this, such as the LCD, the liquid crystal display. In recent times, it's proven that there is a connection between the spiral structure of quartz crystals and human DNA. While quartz is most like humans in structure and composition, it does not have feelings like we do. So when we put these things in our auric field, while our body's energy and frequency tends to fluctuate, crystals and stones do not. And that is how we bring ourselves into alignment using them. It's through that entrainment I talked about earlier. There's many different forms of crystals, from polished to rough. Terminated points, clusters, chunks, all of these things. And crystals can also be formed into many different shapes. And based on those shapes, they will have different properties. Of course, every person is different, and what will help one person may not help another, because we're all made differently. So, though amethyst has been very, very, very helpful for a lot of people for headaches, sometimes with people with different DNA makeup, that amethyst will actually exacerbate symptoms. So it's helpful to play around with crystals, to practice using them. They're very good to bring into meditation. I'm going to talk a little bit, I brought just a few of my favorite crystals. Of course, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of them. I brought a few with me today. I really want to talk first about shungite. Shungite has been recently found in the Siberian area. And it is especially important right now because it's made up of a large amount of carbon. And as we know, carbon is very good at cleansing and purifying. So bringing shungite, which isn't really the most prettiest crystal, although I think it's beautiful, it is really good to bring into your field because it absorbs and shields the body from electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic frequencies are disharmonious frequencies which disrupt our systems. And they're actually a cause of a lot of illness and disease right now. So bringing in shungite will help replace stress and negative emotions. It helps with positive energy, and it does rid the body of pollutants because of its high carbon content. It helps with bacteria and viruses and free radicals by boosting your immune system. It is really good for helping with pain and inflammation, eases headaches, helps with insomnia, asthma, arthritis, chronic fatigue, and it's just all around general grounding and protective. A lot of people who have trouble sleeping, I recommend putting this next to their bed. and it really, really helps block those EMFs that we're constantly being bombarded with in our Wi-Fi, and helps with sleep. So there's the big shungite, I got some little shungites. You can also find tumbled stones, which are really good for carrying around in your pocket. There's bracelets, they make beads on bracelets. And I personally have one of these on my phone. It's a little shungite disc, and it helps block the EMFs, which disrupt your brain and cause a lot of dissonance. So bringing shungite into your auric field is one of the things that I highly recommend to everyone. I also put it on we have the smart meters now, the electric meters that read your electricity, and they're constantly throwing out emissions. The EMF signals, put a little bit on that, it'll help disrupt that signal. Bees were dying in the hive. They put some shungite in and the bees stopped dying because of all these radiation signals that are around us. So again, shungite is one of my ultimate favorites. My second favorite is selenite. Selenite is another one of those all-around wonderful things to just have on you at all times if possible. It's protective, it's calming, it's so soothing. And it is an energy cleanser. This is a large piece of selenite, but I use this a lot to clear my crown, if I have a headache, to clear the auric field, just brush it gently like a comb. It'll help clear any dissonance, any anger, any fear, anything thrown at you. It's really good for cleaning your auric field. It removes energy blocks. It does reverse free radicals. I also use it a lot in my practice for those people who have pain of any kind, especially back pain. Really, really good and helpful for helping with back and bones or skeletal system. It is a cleanser like shungite, although it works differently. It's really helpful for mitigating the mercury fillings in your teeth. And it's very angelic. If you're very spiritual and you like to bring the angels in, I recommend putting selenite in your windows. It helps create a really peaceful, wonderful, angelic energy. Of course, we have carved selenite in the form of an egg, which is really good for fertility, egg-shaped, really good for fertility. Selenite, also very, very good for breastfeeding mothers. We have the heart shape, which I like to use when you're suffering and in grief. You put the heart shape right in the heart center and meditate with it. Really, really good for helping remove those blocks from the heart. We have a little selenite bowl. You can put your supplements in it. You can put your crystals that you can carry around all day in it. It does help clean them and bring them back to the healthy state. I also want to talk very briefly about heart healing stones. There's so many of them out there, but I wanted to talk a little bit about them because we are all carrying around huge amounts of grief, huge amounts of fear, huge amounts of anger, and a lot of us carry that in our hearts right now. This last year has been very, very difficult on so many levels. So heart healing stones are really highly recommended right now. Of course, we have rose quartz. It's probably the most common, and there's a reason for that. Rose quartz is so good at bringing your heart back into balance. It helps with any kind of depression, any kind of grief. It helps mitigate all those symptoms of depression, anxiety. So we have many different forms. We have the tower, we have the sphere. Got some rough stones. We have a tumbled palm stone, very good to carry in your hand if you're experiencing some of those heavier emotions. It helps cleanse and remove them from your auric field. And of course, there's jewelry. We can wear jewelry. Here we have a rose quartz angel. Rose quartz heart, very good to wear at the heart center. Bracelets, all those things are very, very good. Rhodonite is also a wonderful, wonderful stone. We have a rhodonite heart and a rhodonite spear. Very good for love of self and others. It helps with vitality. It supports, it balances your emotions. It calms impatience, which seems like we could all use a little bit of. It helps you to find your true passion, your true gifts. And again, it helps with detoxification, which most stones are really, really good for helping release those negative, dissonant energies and bringing back joy and happiness. Speaking of joy and happiness, garnet is one of my favorite stones for that. Garnet helps relieve depression and brings a lot of joy and hope into our auric field. It helps boost your energy. It is good for arthritis. It's good for blood disorders. It helps with the abdomen, the constipation or diarrhea or stomach disorders in your intestines, pancreas, and kidneys. I have a garnet pyramid. Pyramids are really good because the base form is good for grounding, but the peak, the point, the apex of it is good at directing energy. Very good to place on the heart, to place on the root chakra. Garnet can actually be really, really good also for the sacral chakra as well as the solar plexus. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try and speak a little faster. Chrysocolla is another one of my all-time favorite stones. Chrysocolla works on multiple levels. It's good for heart healing, but it also is really good for communicating. So it brings a peaceful, loving energy to your words. It balances most chakras and helps with strength. Again, it helps with your words and speaking from the truth with love. Very good for thymus and thyroid disorders because it works very well on the throat chakra. And it's good for meditating because it helps activate the third eye. Again, you can hold a crystal while meditating to bring in those energies. You can wear chrysocolla around your neck. I have a friend who says chrysocolla is like an antidepressant for her. It helps just boost your mood and make you feel good. Last stone I'm going to talk about, even though I have many here, is lepidolite. Lepidolite is another one of my all-time favorite stones because it is really, really good for any trauma, releasing trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, all those things that happen when we allow too much negativity within our field, and it kind of brings our energy down into a lower vibration. Lepidolite helps cleanse that out. Again, good for EMFs, just like shungite. It is also helpful for Alzheimer's patients or epilepsy. It's helpful for the brain. It helps calm the overreactivity that happens in the brain. So good to carry around for any of those issues. But especially, I really recommend if you're having anxiety to just put it in the palm of your hand and carry it around with you. I have also used lepidolite to help treat ADHD or some people on the spectrum also find relief with it. It helps calm and soothe. Don't want to forget clear quartz, the ultimate #1 crystal, because it is so powerful. It amplifies all of the other crystals. So if you're wearing one of these other crystals and have clear quartz, it's just a powerful amplifier. It's very, very versatile. It's a stone of power. And as I said, it amplifies energy and your intention. It protects against negativity, and it does help with pain because it cleanses and releases all those lower dense energies that we were talking about. I do have crystals on my store at my website, www.cosmichealingandw.com, where you can find these little kits We have one for digestion. I have one for back pain. I have, actually, I have a whole bunch on the website. I just brought a few today. Heart healing, which we talked a lot about today. These are little kits with tumbled stones you can carry around in a pouch or in your pocket. Very, very helpful. And then, of course, you can make essences out of crystals. It's very, very good to ingest them and actually have the properties move through your body from the inside versus the outside. So I have a heart healing formula, I have a pain relief formula, and I have one that I call Shine, which is just all around helping to boost your self-esteem, your confidence levels, your any kind of disorder from the solar plexus, digestion, reflux disorder, all those types of things. So as we can see, crystals, beautiful all by themselves, but they also have very, very, very good benefit to your health. Thank you. So now I'm going to bring on the next practitioner. His name is Sam. And I'm going to let him talk about what he has to offer. Thank you, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christy. Hi, everyone. So what I have to share with you today is a divinely inspired line of natural, small batch, Reiki-infused, soothing CBD products to infuse your life with some extra goodness, light, and love, helping you find relief from physical discomfort, lifelong, or new and short term. Supporting and encouraging you with beautifully subtle aromas, holistically soothing your discomfort. Finding synergy among plants, divinely inspired, then shared with you. You can find Sam's Soothing CBD by supporting many small businesses. You can see those and more on our website at trulymystical.live, L-I-V-E. So a couple of the products that I brought to share with you today. The primary is the CBD lotion that is pretty amazing. It has done more than I ever could have imagined for so many people. In this lotion is the CBD and a blend of essential oils, black pepper, clove, kunzia, clove, turmeric, and it's blended into an unscented olive lotion base, and it's pretty phenomenal. I do a salve and a body butter as well. And so those don't have that unscented olive lotion base, but instead they're in with shea butter and beeswax for the salve, not in the butter, and then also cocoa butter and mango butter, which create this really amazing texture, and it's really soothing and nourishing, and your skin just soaks it right up. I've had many people use these products for things like arthritis and joint pain. Obviously, arthritis and joint pain haven't been looked at or approved by the FDA. So for today, that's the physical discomfort that I was talking about. Another product that I do is a 1 ounce CBD oil. So this is CBD isolate that's infused into hemp seed oil. And these bottles are 5,000 milligrams of CBD. Those are also available on the website. And then a personal inhaler. So there's a few blends that are available in either an inhaler or a perfume roller. And so the inhaler looks about and is about the size of lipstick. You just take off the lid, and it's got a few air holes there, and inside is a wick that holds the oil so it doesn't drip and it won't make a mess. And then from this, you can hold it under your nose and just take a deep breath, or a few of them, and recenter yourself in whatever you might be dealing with throughout your day. So those are pretty awesome. And the perfume rollers Those are fairly new, and so those don't have CBD in them, but those are in the essential oils that have been infused into a high-proof alcohol and then diluted with some water into the roller. The one other roller that I didn't bring with me today is one of the ones from the CBD line. And so that one is similar to the salve, it just doesn't have the beeswax in it to make it thick. So it's still pretty high strength, and it's awesome because it's portable and you can keep it with you and use it whenever you need it. So this is a 4-ounce jar for the lotion. The butter and salve come in 2-ounce jars, and the lotion also comes in an 8-ounce pump. And again, all of those are available on the website at trulymystical.live. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. If you are in the Northern Oregon coast area, the lotion and salves, and then, oh, I also forgot to bring the bath salts with me. That one's new and awesome as well. Another CBD creation. Those can all be found at Wild in Manzanita and also at Spa Manzanita in Manzanita. And then the lotion is also available at Manzanita Grocery and Deli. And just to circle back to what Christy was talking about, my stone choice for this season has been labradorite, which has been pretty awesome. It's a little bit protective of my aura, and it's also great for manifesting, which this new season and the full moon coming up. So thank you so much for listening today.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your presence today, Ken. And his products. They sound amazing. Don't forget to check out his website. At the end of today's broadcast, I will be posting the information for all the speakers here today in the comments for Facebook, and you can also, of course, and I can give them to you if you don't see them there. While we wait for our next, we talk about Rising Hearts very briefly. Rising Hearts, as I said in the beginning of this broadcast, was to help uplift the community by having classes and events. Our schedule for next month, we have our meditation with Bob on Tuesday mornings. On Monday mornings, there is a meditation and painting group that meets, and I do believe they have a few spaces there. If you're interested, please call me, 971-324-0036. That's 971-324-0036. There is going to be drop-in chakra dance classes on Wednesday night, starting in April. Chakra dance is a very, very wonderful modality. I have been facilitating it for quite some time, and every time I hold a class, I'm amazed at the shifts it brings. Just by its simple modality, it's a simple modality. It's basically guided moving meditation, but it is accompanied with chakra-based music and frequencies that help balance and release whatever energies you have stuck in your chakra system. It is followed after the dance. It's followed by a small, brief time where we create mandalas with some art mandalas, and we just take that energy that we have discovered through the dance and we put it into physical form in the mandala. Something so simple has created such huge shifts for everyone that has participated. If you are interested in joining a drop-in class, just email me, text me real quick, let me know you're coming so I know to look for you and make sure that we have enough room for spatial distancing at this time. Down paths are coming back to Rising Hearts in May. If you're interested in joining, check out my website, risingheartsstudio.com. We'll have more information there on all the upcoming classes and events. We have a new Qigong class starting in April, but Qigong has been very popular. As soon as I announce it fills up that day. So for the next round in May, if you're interested, let me know now so we can make sure to get you on the schedule. I'm going to introduce our last practitioner today. Many of you who have been in the area for any amount of time should be familiar with Lane and Lane's Greenwich Gardens. Today she's going to talk about her spirit essences, but also she's going to bless us with a community tarot reading. Lane, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Christy. Good job, since I didn't write out an introduction. Yeah, I've lived here a long time and been involved with the plants and people things for a long time. Today I'm going to talk about flower essences, which are, Christy's been talking about energy medicine, and it's definitely an energy medicine. It doesn't have the particles of the plant. So I'm going to make one. So this is a ball of lapis lazuli, one of my favorite stones. They've been talking about their stones. I do it in a crystal bowl. Can you see that? And I picked some henbit, which is a spring plant, has these little purple flowers on it. That I will put in. So it's a combination. Maybe by the end of the session, I will have an idea of what this is about. Definitely spring energy. So it just sits in the water, and then after I make it, I bottle it in one of my little bottles, and I usually put a colorful string on it because I'm working them. The string helps me keep track of them somehow. And I have people, usually in the process, I get sort of a hint about what it's about. Sometimes it's related to what I know about the plant. Henbit, although it's been in my garden for years, I've never really known much about it, and I just recently learned that it's actually edible. So we'll see if by the end I know what it's about. And when I sell these at market, the Friday market, I usually have people choose them intuitively because your body knows what it wants. And so I have a big box of them and have people pull one out. Sometimes we'll have a conversation about, they've got this or that going on, but because it's energy medicine, it's really acting at a very subtle level, more so than tinctures and other such things. This bowl looks really pretty with the light on it and the lapis in it. So something about spring beauty, I think, is going to be what this is about. So that's the spirit essences, which are some crystal or another, one of my friends, crystal friends, and then a plant that calls to me. And I have a lot, I don't know how many. And I'm more and more I'm doing blends. So my other area of expertise in the energy world, healing world, is tarot. And I have a whole bunch of decks, but this is the deck that I use for at market and other public readings because the pictures. Can you zoom in on that? The pictures are real people who have been photographed and then painted. It's called the Gaian Tarot deck, and it's done by a woman in Bellingham, whose name I'll remember in a second, Joanna Colbert Powell. And it's great because some tarot, there's a lot of explaining to do, some decks, because they're kind of obscure, but the pictures, these particular kinds of pictures give people an immediate sense. So the idea that I had for today was to do a reading for the community, for the collective.
for the tribe of energy healers and community people who are involved in various things, of whom there are a lot here. So I'll shuffle them, and I will pull them in succession. The first one will be for, I'll do a past, present, and future. The first one will be the past. Maybe pre-COVID past? No, we'll see. All right, choose a card. Ah! So the card is the death card. No, wait. No, it's not the death card. It's the devil card normally. And in this deck, it's called bindweed, which if you know gardens and the woods here, you know about bindweed. And the devil card is about that which is deviling you, what's tangling you up. The card was upside down when I drew it, and the reversals I take to mean to be the energy's there, but it's blocked in some way. And since I mentioned pre-COVID, but this almost sounds like it's COVID, during this last year when we've been so bound up by so many restrictions and rules and fears and all kinds of information flying around and not able to spend time in Christy's lovely space here. This is the first time, I stuck my head in the other day, but the first time I've gotten to be here, and I know she's not doing all that she had wanted to do here, which we were looking forward to. So yeah, we've been bound up and tangled, and it's going to be hard to get the roots out. If you have bindweed in your garden, you know that you can take it out, but then it comes up again. It's very, very hard to get rid of. You have to just really pick at it all the time. And so that's where we are. We are having to pick at all those little things, make choices, and get ourselves. I'll stick this here. So that's the past. Now I'll choose one for the present. What's going on right now? Where are we as a community? So this is the 5 of air. This card, the first card I drew is a major, which I take to be the soul speaking. And so the soul of, in this case, the soul of this community is saying, yeah, you guys are in a tangle, and it's not your fault, but it's you're working with it. This is one of the minors. Tarot has 4 suits: earth, air, fire, and water, just like our playing card decks. And they go from 8 to 10, and then ace, to 10, and then court cards, which are called something different in this deck. But so this is 5 of air. Air is all about speaking, creativity, seeing the big picture, especially this one because it has eagles in it who fly, have amazing vision, and they can fly over and see what's spread out there, so that they're really good for seeing or it's really a symbol for seeing what's there, what the plan is, and what the possibilities are. However, these guys, there's a whole bunch of them, as there are in our community, and they're disagreeing quite a bit. They're snapping at each other, and no, I see it over here, and no, we should open now, and no, we shouldn't, and yes, we should wear masks, no. Too much trouble to wear masks. When are we going to be able to get back? Are we going to be able to do market again? All of that chatter that's going on. Can I see my grandchildren? Can I have my grandchildren? All of that huge thing, which of course has affected our community, which is a microcosm of the state, the USA, the continent, and the world, where we all are. Disagreeing in lots of ways, not entirely, but seeing different parts of the picture. Based on our own needs. Those showing. Okay, so the next card is the future. And it's the 2 of earth. So whereas this one was very airy and seeing a wider vision, this one is about being grounded on the earth and juggling a lot of things. it's, you know, this person is handling 2 babies, also trying to get the grocery shopping done, or being at market, and managing, but, you know, so for the near future, as best we can tell, and certainly what the Thoreau is saying is that we're going to have a whole bunch of, a lot to juggle, a lot to track, even if it's just wearing a mask and trying to see through the fog if you wear glasses, and managing to have a conversation, you know, 6 feet apart. So, yeah, we're juggling a lot, and it's just the way it's going to be for a while. How are we doing on time? I'm going to do one more wild card. I love to do a wild card. So, this is just, oh sweet. So this is another air card. It's the child of air, would be the page, which is the extra card of the court cards from playing cards. And this little girl is with her crown of flowers is hosting a whole slew of butterflies. And butterflies, you know, are symbols of transformation because they start out in the you know, as worms, or as not worms really, but what are they called? Larvae. Anyway, they're and then they go into their cocoons and turn into absolute goo, and then appear again. And you know, they don't know what's going to happen, and that's one of the things we don't know right now. What's going to happen? You know, how, you know, can we practice our healing arts? Can we do this? Can we manage all that? Can we juggle? Can we juggle all the things we have to juggle? But the butterflies are there to give us encouragement and to say, yes, we are changing. We are, you know, no, things are never going to be exactly the same again. But some of the things that we're, you know, going are kind of needed to go, right? Whether it's in our own lives or in the collective, that you know, there were lots of things that were kind of mixed up. So this is the innocence of the child, playing with the butterflies, playing with the transformation. You could even see it as all of us being these butterflies in a kind of innocence, in a new world. So that's a really sweet one to get, especially when we started out with the bindweed, right? You know, all tangled up, and then ending up with this very light, sweet card. So that's what I have to say, I think. My name again is Lane, Lane, DeMoll, DE_MOLL, and I'm with this particular hat on, I'm part of Lane's Greenwich Garden, or I am, that's what I'm doing. And you can reach me at 503-440-1342 by text or phone. And my email is lane@nahalemtel.net. I refuse to change that email because I've had it forever and I love it. So those are different ways to get hold of me. If you would like a tarot reading, they're $60 for about an hour, and I decided I would do a special, so $50 if you call me and mention this event that you saw me on this event. I can do them on Facebook, not Facebook, FaceTime or